That's Scott Weiland, Missing Cleveland. It's Matt Pinfield in the morning. I'm in the studio with Scott. He's going to be playing Irving Plaza on the 5th of December. The album is coming out on November 25th. It's good to have you here, Scott.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, tell me about Missing Cleveland and the lyrical thing behind that song.
Well, it was written after my son was born, and there was definitely a change in the family chemistry and relationship between Mary and I, and I think it was our first sort of split, and we had a house out in Coronado and a house, an apartment in LA, and she went down there for a while, and I was in LA, and so I went into the studio and wrote with Doug 3 songs, and one of them was Missing Cleveland, and it's basically about the idea of LA and Hollywood just not being a conducive place for relationships, for like raising kids, compared to where I grew up. I like growing up in a small town outside of Cleveland, and I just sort of was, in a melancholy sense, yearning for that, childhood place.
That place where there was innocence, and there wasn't so many pressures of of the big entertainment world either, like there is in LA and out that way in Hollywood.
Facade.
And so then, people talk about that quite often, about the facade, and how hard it is sometimes to separate that when you're caught up, especially running at the speed of sound as you can be, right?
Yeah, I kind of choose to just stay out of it. I'd go out maybe once every couple months, over the hill. I live in the valley, and it's not, it wasn't like that when I was younger. I was in my 20s. I was ripping and roaring.
Yeah, we all were. I know that for sure. We've been through some similar things, that's for sure. And the thing, I like the Valley, actually. People always talk, I've heard people diss the Valley, but I'm saying, I lived in Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, and that border there near Valley Village when I lived out there, and I actually liked it because there were families next door, and it had a kind of a neighborhood vibe to it.
Yes.
I didn't need to be isolated in the hills or any of that. So now let's play your cover of Bowie's Fame. Now, since the first time you and I met, I remember, we met during the first album, and then we actually sat and talked backstage in Atlanta for the Purple Tour about Bowie. How much we loved, you talked to me about how much you loved Hunky Dory, and we talked about Bowie's influence. And, I remember years later sitting in with David Bowie and him talking about you, and just you tell me to reach out and say hello to you and everything, which I thought was very cool. And, you decided to do Fame, which is a great song. And why did you pick this one? I know you love so many Bowie songs. What made you decide to do Fame?
Well, actually, it was a conversation with Paul Oakenfold, and I think that song with the basic beats that he created lended themselves really well to dance club. So he sent files to us, and then Doug put guitars down, and I put and then some other tracks down, and then I put down my vocals and harmonies and those little vocal effects, and we sent them back, and we did a mix, and then people did a mix, and then we did our mix for our record.
That's great. It's not the first time you've covered a Bowie song. I mean, there was an STV B-side you did, Andy Warhol, great version of that, which was really cool. So we're going to have to play that on Cover Me one day.